Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of ANOKHI Uncensored, airing on the world's #1 South Asian radio station, Ruckus Avenue Radio, which is available on the iHeartRadio app. Just download the app and search Ruckus Avenue Radio. Episodes air every Tuesday at 7 p.m. PST and 10 p.m. EST. You can also watch the episodes on the Girn YouTube channel and on the ANOKHI Media Facebook page. So hop on over to both and join. I'm your host, as usual, Girn, coming to you today with a very special guest who I interviewed in the early days of ANOKHI when we were a quarterly print glossy magazine distributed on mainstream newsstands across Canada, the US, and the UK. Oh my God, does that take me back? She is a multi-talented actor, producer, singer, and host, among many other things, whose career has spun well over 2 decades, starting right here in Canada and expanding out to the United States and beyond, to share her incredible journey as one of the first South Asian entertainment personalities on mainstream North American TV. Please welcome to the show a South Asian OG mainstreamer, the incomparable Aashna Patel. Hi, sister. Oh my God, I've been so excited to really have a conversation live with you. Welcome to ANOKHI Uncensored.
Thank you so much, Raj. It's been forever. And whenever you come to LA, you'll have to come see me. Okay. We have to just meet up. This has been too long, too long.
Absolutely, sweetheart. Absolutely. And there's so much to talk about, around your career. Your career is one that I absolutely admire. And, you know me, I've interviewed so many people across my 2 decades, but there's very few that really stand out for me for all the right reasons. You're one of them. And the reason is that you decided to go into mainstream entertainment, starting on broadcast TV here in Toronto, at a time when there were no South Asian people or hardly any on TV. What was it about that career that you felt, this is for me, knowing that there was hardly anyone out there that looked like you and me?
Yeah, that's true. The first person I saw on television who I really admired, and you know her too, is Monica Diol. And,
Yes.
she was hosting Electric Circus, and I thought that was really fun. And I thought, oh, I want to be on television too. So I think she helped to open the door. And then I was the second one
Yes.
on television at that time. And I actually started at City TV hosting a television show called Hidden Talent, which was part of Sounds of Asia with Lali Vij. And I was
Yes.
hosting segments on his show. And then from there, I moved to YTV. And on YTV, a number of shows there. But Raj, I wasn't that kind of kid that was going to auditions and commercials and all that kind of stuff. I had a pretty normal childhood. I studied Bharatanatyam, like a
I
lot of Indian
love that.
girls
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And it was really my singing that kind of got me into the entertainment industry. My dad started booking me for a lot of national anthems. So I was singing for cricket matches and baseball and the NBA, and that kind of
Wow.
got me into the world of entertainment. And I feel like I fell more into television instead of music. I did a lot in music, but I was trying to juggle both of them at the same time. And I guess television was a bit more welcoming.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you, Ashna, did you face any prejudice or any kind of challenges, bearing in mind that being South Asian, also being a woman of color on the airwaves at a time we've already established, you were the second one here in Canada, at least in the entertainment space,
I do, and I have a horrible memory, which is also good and bad because I tend to forget a lot of the negative stuff that's happened in my life. But yes, I did actually face racism just out and about, or should I say, out and about,
Yeah.
but not as much on television. The kids
Hmm.
really, they were so young. And I was in the tree house and I was working a lot with preschoolers on live television. And that's how I started. And those kids are so kind and they would draw pictures and color them all brown with a brown face. And, I think it was really inspiring for a lot of other women and other boys too, but of
Yeah.
color, watching, thinking to themselves, oh, I want to be on television too.
And you know, Ashna, you're really taking me back now because when you were on Treehouse, my son used to watch that. He was a toddler at that time, and
Oh
this
my
is how
gosh.
I was introduced to you. And I saw you like, you know, this beautiful brown young woman, and I was thinking, is she South Asian? Is she Mexican? Is she like I couldn't figure it out. And then I saw your name pop up, and I'm like, she's one of me. She is one of me. And I want to share something with you that I've never shared with anyone and I've never shared with you. Monica Diol and Aashna Patel were the two reasons why I felt that I had the right and the gumption to start Anoki. I'm telling you that this
Oh
right
my
now
gosh. You're gonna make me
because
cry. I'm not
it's
supposed to
so
cry right
true.
now, later in the
It,
interview.
but it's so true, sweetheart. You know, like just to see women of color from my community, you know, feel like they can enter this kind of space that was dominated by the black and white, you know, sphere. Like there was no brown in between at that time, especially not in the entertainment business. We saw it on the news a little bit, but we didn't see it in the entertainment space. But to see you guys and for you guys to be cool and to be pretty and not to be all corporate was the other thing that really, you know, gave me the confidence to feel that I too deserve and can, you know, go into the media space. And I did, as you know. So I want to ask you something. Like, you know, you did a whole bunch of stints on TV in Toronto, but then you decided to go to LA. Considering that this was decades ago, before the big Canadian exodus of the last decade of South Asian artists going to LA, you did this way before anybody. What was the opportunity that you saw, considering also that BIPOC representation wasn't a thing when you went there? Share that little bit for us, because you know we hear of everybody doing wonderful things today in our community in that space, in that industry, but you were way before then. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Right, so I'd have to go a little back
Yes.
to YTV. So YTV, it started with the Treehouse, moved to the Alley, moved to the Breakfast Zone, YTV Shift, the YTV Achievement Awards, you know, where we had Backstreet Boys on there. That was really, really cool.
Yes.
And then I started hosting YTV's Hit List. That was formerly hosted by Tarzan Dan, who I absolutely love and is an excellent host. I love
Yeah.
him and
I
still keep
remember
in touch
him.
with him. And so it was this TV career that was happening. And then at the same time, I was doing all the national anthems and then signed a record deal with MCA Records at the time. So I was pursuing a music career. So I really didn't have any intention of moving. I really liked the space. I liked being in
Mhm.
Toronto, and I was expanding to CNN's World Beat and TV Guide channel in Canada. So I was doing a lot of things. So it's like kind of like being a big fish in a small pond at that time.
Mhm.
But circumstances changed in my life. You know, I lost my dad, I lost my mom,
Oh
and
my God.
I felt like I needed to just kind of move. I needed to
Mhm.
I needed to start all over. And, you know, I used to come to LA for movie junkets and interview a lot of celebrities, and that was so much fun. And I was thinking, am I going to go to New York or am I going to go to LA? And the
Mhm.
weather, the beach, the ocean, the moderate temperature, it really drew me in. And
Mhm.
I, you know, pretty much packed up my bags and didn't even know where I was going to spend the night when I landed at LAX, just me and my little bunny rabbit.
Really?
I did. I called like a bunch of hotels and I said, do you allow bunnies? Because I have one. And then some really crappy hotel said, yeah, we'll invite your bunny, no problem. And so I stayed there a couple nights. And then, ironically, one of my bosses from Toronto, from YTV, who is producing The Breakfast Zone, FedExed me his key. This is how kind people are, and said,
Mm.
just why don't you stay at my place in Santa Monica? We're not here right now. We're on our way to adopt a baby. The place is vacant for 2 weeks until you can just settle in. And
Mhm.
I got to settle in there and then found my place. And then I just haven't left. I'm
Oh my
still
gosh.
here.
And how long ago was that? Can you recall?
Yes, absolutely. It was September 1999.
Oh my gosh, you're such an OG. So let's talk a little bit about the experience there. Like, so here you are, you landed, you got a couple of weeks to kind of get yourself together. What were you going through? What were you thinking about? How did you get into kind of, the scene and start to find work? Like, talk to us about that, because that's the part that a lot of people don't really talk about. We literally see a person starting off and then they kind of make it in some arena, and we never know that kind of space in between. Can you share your space in between?
Raj, I don't think anyone cared that I did all this stuff in Canada. And I
Mm,
came to the US and I really started from scratch. I
mm,
was doing a couple of reports for CNN still with World Beat, and I was doing a little bit with TV Guide Channel Canada. But it really wasn't until TV Guide in the US picked me up. And then
mm.
I was their daily host. So it took a little while to adjust, but I don't know. I don't know about you, but when you go through different things in your life, it's like you go into this like survivor mode.
Yeah.
For me, I knew that going back to Toronto was not an option. So I
Hmm.
had to figure it out, enjoy my life here, and, make a living. And I
Yeah.
wanted to do that in the entertainment business. So I stuck with it. And there have been many ups and downs.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to stay with it. I love being creative, and I know you do
Hmm.
too.
Yes, absolutely, sweetheart. What's really interesting about your journey is that you're not just, oh, I'm going to do broadcast TV, or I'm going to act, or I'm going to, produce. You're all of the above. You've kind of really gotten your teeth into many different modalities within the entertainment business. Share some of the highlights. Talk to us a little bit about things that have stood out for you and why they've stood out for you.
I think lifestyle in LA has really stood out for me. I know
Hmm.
that's separate from career, but it has so much to do with who I am. Like, you can really feel well in Los Angeles if you want to. I've always lived close by to the beach. I love like water activities and staying active. I'm a big fan of hot yoga,
Yeah.
because that's the only place I sweat. So that's also fun for me. But
It's
TV
great for your skin as
channel,
well as your body, right?
it's great. It's just
Yeah.
like detoxing everything, at
Yes.
the same time. So I love that. So TV Guide Channel was really great. I also reported for NBC's Extra. And then I was doing a lot of red carpets,
Hmm.
interviewing celebrities. And I thought, what else do I want to do? And it was
Hmm.
travel. Like, who doesn't want to travel and get paid for it?
Yes.
Exactly what I wanted to do. So I kept auditioning and for Travel Channel. And 5 years later,
Wow.
they called me for an audition for Animal Planet. And I auditioned for Animal Planet and they said, "You're not quirky enough." And I'm like, "I'm so quirky." They didn't think I was for Animal Planet. So they put me on the Travel Channel, hosting a show about vacation homes. And I'm like, all right, I can do that too. That's
Of
fun.
course. Of course. That sounds fabulous, actually.
And it was funny because I also applied for other travel jobs and I got two on the same day. So I got the job with Travel Channel hosting Vacation Home Search. And then I got a travel job with numerous airlines hosting programs on there, but I also got to produce. So production really started at YTV. I have to give
Hmm.
credit to Joanne Jackson, who hired me and took a chance on hiring an Indian girl.
Yeah.
Also, there was a gentleman by the name of Bob Martin, and
Okay.
he was like, "Do you want to learn how to produce?" And I'm like, "Yes, I want to." And I sat with him and learned everything. And this was the time when we had linear editing. So, you had to paper edit everything. And that really taught me to be sharp when I'm out in the field. So even
Hmm.
if you don't produce as your career, if you can learn how to produce, it actually makes you a better host. And
How
so I thought
fascinating.
that was really, really important. So I did a lot of the Travel Channel, and, the pandemic hit. So Raj, when the lockdown happened in 2020, that was the time where I had to figure out, like, what other skill sets do I have? I worked with Google. and I was coaching a lot of their executives on how to perform on camera.
Oh, that's
It's,
brilliant.
if you're a performer, I mean, if you can coach others to do it, even better. And I really like that. I also
Hmm.
started tutoring young kids, and I love doing that too. There's
Yes.
so many things I love about teaching and coaching. And so from there, I ended up landing a job at Justice Central, which is the bigger company would be Allen Media Group with
Yeah.
Byron Allen. And so on Justice Central, we had 9 judges. And it was the funniest thing because I didn't know I was going to have the opportunity to create cases too. So you get to create them and you get to produce them
Wow.
and you get to coach talent. And, we move like a factory. It's like Survivor meets Court Factory. And in
Wow.
under 2 years, I ended up producing 405 episodes.
What?
It was
That is
unreal.
insanely fabulous. What was that experience like?
It was, it was tiring
Mm-hmm.
a lot of ways. It
Yeah.
was stressful in a lot of ways, but it was so creatively stimulating. And,
Mm-hmm.
working with talent, and some of them are first time actors and some of them are seasoned. And for them, like just coaching them in a short period of time and trying to bring out the case and to make the judge happy, to make the audience happy and the viewers, it was challenging and fun. And I really enjoyed it. So we're on hiatus right now. So
Yeah.
we'll see what other opportunities come up. But it was kind of like going on hiatus, but then finding out that I was nominated for 2 Emmys, which was just, I don't know, it was like bittersweet.
Tell me why it was bittersweet, because you're on a hiatus, but here you are getting, you know, your just reward, so to speak,
Yes. Oh my
right?
gosh. And it doesn't even feel like a reward for just that show and those 9 shows. It feels like a reward for all the years of hustling and
Yeah.
producing and all that kind of stuff. So it was bittersweet just because it was the final day. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a team of people who I really loved working with, every single person there. And where do
Mm-hmm.
you go in a company? And now you have your own company, but so you can be selective of who you pick. But going back and working at different companies, where do you go where you like every single person? Like there's
Mm-hmm.
just no bad seed. And so it was
Wow.
sad in that way that, okay, we're going on hiatus. We know not everybody's going to come back. And then at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, you're nominated for 2 Emmys. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm
But
so excited.
yeah, it's incredible, but it's kind of a part and parcel of being in the kind of career that you're in, right, Ashna? I mean, people don't talk about it as much as I feel they should. It's not a stable career path unless you are entrepreneurial, unless you kind of go out there and find opportunities. It's not like most work where you can be as qualified as anything, but it doesn't mean that it's going to equate to a position within what you're qualified in, like doctors and accountants and lawyers, which is why I understand our parents want us to be in those careers. I mean, I get it. Talk a little bit about that, Ashna. Let's get real a little bit here. I mean, the highs in your career, the highs that we see in careers of other people who are from our community in the past 10 days. There's just nothing like it. But let's talk also about those times when you're like, okay, what am I going to do next? I've done all this work. I have all of this body of work that justifies my excellence, but it doesn't necessarily equate to me already having another job lined up after this one, because it's like project to project to project, unless you're one of the rare few that get one of those long-term situations in work. Talk to me a little bit about the mindset around that, those kind of hiatus periods of which you're now on.
Exactly. So I have to say, I was very fortunate to have parents who supported me in the entertainment business, because
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of Indian parents don't do that. Maybe they do that now,
Yeah.
but not when I was a kid. That was
Yeah.
not common. So my mom would sit me down and she'd say, "What do you want to do? And let's figure it out together."
How
And
lucky are you?
oh, it was such a crazy different upbringing and felt like such a disconnect from so many South Asians only because of that reason. And then my dad was my biggest promoter. You know, he was getting me like all these gigs, like singing for President Clinton. And
Wow.
it was like all the baseball games and everything. It was my dad who helped me get in the door. He helped me find my first producer for my album that I made. You know, my dad was really hustling for me. So I have to say, like in LA, it's different because I don't have that same, you know, person hustling for me or my mom and dad with me. So, you know, I really try to stay with a lot of people who I find authentic and
Right.
who are well-wishers, you know,
Right.
and those are the people I want to keep in my close circle. And it's okay if things go up and down because that's the career I chose. I
Right.
definitely tried other things in other industries, and I don't know, it just doesn't fulfill me as much. You know,
It's
I
not for
think
you,
that,
sweetheart. It's not for
yeah,
you. No,
yeah.
it's not for you. And you're made for this. You know, you're made for this because look at, you know, even at that kind of intersection where you had the opportunity to completely decide that you're not going to want to be in this space anymore, when your parents both passed on, that would probably have been the most true time for you in terms of, okay, what am I doing now? Because as you mentioned, my support system isn't there anymore. So it begs a question that I feel is really important to ask you at this point. Where did you then start getting your strength from? Because you've done so much after that time that your parents would be so proud of you for. Like where, you know, what is that? What is that thread of confidence, that thread of knowing that this is exactly where you need to be? Where did you get that from?
I don't think I really got that from any person. Of course, like people around you influence you and all that kind of stuff, but really, I think it's my relationship with a higher consciousness, you know? I feel safe.
Yeah.
I feel small. I feel big. You know, I feel all sorts of different things. But when you kind of look at life and you think of yourself as like a spiritual being having a
Mm-hmm.
human experience,
Mm-hmm.
nothing else really matters at that
Mm-hmm.
point, you know? So I kind of live my life that way. Not all my friends feel the same way, and that's okay. Like we go through different things in different times in our lives,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but that keeps me strong and that
Yeah.
also keeps me very happy. And, you know, to wake up happy and to spend my day learning something and maybe giving something back to someone, to me,
Mm-hmm.
that's success.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. You are a kindred soul, my sister, because I feel the same way as well. You know, we're, I feel that we are taught by society to put some sort of currency around success, right? We're taught that, the next goal, and then now the next goal and the next goal. And the funny thing is that life isn't meant to be a series of goals. It's meant to be a series of experiences. And you can only truly, accept what happens to you as a being if you understand that you are more than this life. You are more than what is happening to you in the present moment. So I love that you shared that. And I know that wellness is a big part of your DNA. I'd love for you to share that a little bit. And perhaps that has answered my question about where, once your parents passed on and they went on to, the other realm, where you got your strength from. Perhaps they spoke to you at that moment. Perhaps they said, this, there's more to what you're doing than the life that you're living, and that you need to find happiness within yourself. Like, comment on that for me.
I think, like, you know, parents are there to love, right? They're there to
Mm-hmm.
love and take care of you. But, you know, they're also there to be very selfless. And some
Mm-hmm.
of it is to get out of your way. And however that happens, you know, sometimes people pass, sometimes people live in different cities, but they're kind of getting out of your way so that you can kind of forge forward in your own path.
Right.
And I'm just like, I'm tiptoeing, I don't have it together at all. I mean, I overeat, I undereat, I do water fast. I'm experimenting with so many different things. People think
Mhm.
I'm nuts all the time, especially when I'm water fasting, but I do things that I feel heal me and build me,
Right.
and
Oh,
so
I love
and
that.
and no one else has to do that with me. Like, I'm not telling
Mhm.
people they have to do it, but that's my path. I pray, I
Mhm.
meditate.
Mhm.
I try to appreciate everything, and I try not to lose my cool.
Right.
Like, LA traffic can drive people crazy.
They
Doesn't
talk about that all the time,
doesn't
right?
really drive me that crazy. I'm like, okay, if we
Mhm.
leave early enough, I'll be there and I'll just keep dancing in the
Yeah.
car. That's what I do.
Oh my God, I love it, sweetheart. I want to ask you this just for, people watching, listening, or reading this at this moment who I feel are meant to be hearing this. What have you witnessed to be some of the most noticeable changes in the North American entertainment landscape from when you started to now? Like, can you share that?
Yeah, well, privacy is a huge one.
Hmm.
I'm really happy that I didn't have social media when I was at YTV, because it was just hard enough even having email, because people would
Hmm.
email really horrible things, and that's you kind of, develop thick skin. So I do think social media has changed everything.
Hmm.
Um, People can produce their own stuff. So you
Yeah.
have all these influencers and creators. So I do love that anyone from any part of the world can become an entertainment star, a TV star,
Hmm.
any type of influencer. So I think that's really good. But I do feel like people should kind of go on their own path, and it shouldn't be about comparing yourself to the next person. So I feel
Hmm.
like maybe people are out there trying to get likes and trying to get followers, and all that is definitely really important, especially in this industry, because people do look at that.
Hmm.
But it shouldn't be everything. you know
Right.
Take that time, take that downtime, and enjoy your life, and not constantly be comparing yourself to another person. But on the positive front, there are so many more South Asians that are doing really well, that are
Hmm.
successful not only in entertainment but all other fields.
Yes.
And that's really wonderful to see. So I'm a well wisher for anyone, but I am a well wisher every time I see a South Asian succeed. I'm there like, yes.
Absolutely. The South Asia, I'm going to say that again. Ashna, the South Asian Renaissance is something, although I hoped for when I started Anoki back in 2002, I never thought would have been so vast within a 20-year time frame. I feel that it's been a big part due to what you're saying, social media, and just, so many people knowing that they could just put themselves out there and put themselves in the forefront as a collective identity. It's like, when people see mass, they start to take it seriously. And that's something that I feel South Asians in all walks of life have utilized social media really well to accomplish. But I feel it's also a part of what's happening in the world regarding India's position of power has really changed in the last 20 years. So, there's so many collaborations that are taking place business wise, entertainment business wise, especially you can see it very much in the music space, the collaborations that are happening with India-based artists and mainstream artists. Something I would have never, ever thought would happen in my lifetime is happening. And I do feel it's partly because of the growth in power of India, but also just, the landscape changing with social media. What do you, foresee knowing that could be the potential for the South Asian community as we move forward? Like, what are you envisaging? The reason I'm asking you this question is a prophetic question, is because somehow you saw Hollywood as an opportunity way before Hollywood was even considered an opportunity within South Asians here in Canada. But somehow something came to you that was an opportunity, which now we've seen has become a massive opportunity for South Asian creatives. I'd love your thoughts on this. What do you see, knowing what we've accomplished, could be possible in the future for us?
So Raj, when I came here, I mostly came to start over and for the weather more than anything. But even getting started in the United States, it was different because I wasn't getting hired because I was South Asian. I was getting hired because I looked ethnically ambiguous. People had no idea where I was from. They were like, oh, is she Middle Eastern, South American, Mexican? Like, we have no idea. Is she white? Is she mixed, half black, half white? Like, they didn't know where I was from. And I was getting hired mostly for that reason. They were like, oh, let's put this girl in. Now it's different. People are hiring people because they are South Asian and they're talented. So I think that it's a whole different world now. And people coming from Bollywood to Hollywood and making it and succeeding. And, it's changing everything. I hope that it continues. We also have people in executive positions who are South Asian making very big decisions about programming.
Right.
If you think about Netflix,
yes.
Just think about all these other big companies and big tech companies. There's a lot of leaders who are South Asian now. And I think that makes a difference too. I just hope we all continue to support each other.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's what we really need to do, is we need to support each other.
How do you see yourself fitting into what is going on right now? And I guess part of that question, the other part of that question is, what do you want to do next?
I know. In a dream world, can I tell you, in a dream world?
Yes.
I love what you're doing because you are an entrepreneur. You are taking charge of your own career, your own programming, your own everything, your own creativity. And that has always been in my heart. Like, I have always felt like I'm an entrepreneur. And it's just a matter of time and boldness to say, okay, it's time to do all these projects. I have spent many years making other people's dreams come true.
Yes.
And maybe it's time I start making some of my own dreams come true, because I'm an idea person. I have tons of ideas all over the place, whether it's like children's books to animation to music, to television shows. It's like there's so many things there, even films. And so I think step by step, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make sure that I make time to do all of my dream projects too.
I love that.
What's next for the next big gig? I don't know, but if you're watching, call me, find me.
I love it. But I feel that your entire journey professionally has, set you up to be at this point when you have such, a diverse skill set, that where you're at in your mindset right now, where you want to do things for you, for others, instead of for others for you, which is what I'm hearing you say. I'm excited to see what, the future will hold for you, because you're holding space for doing you. That is just powerful. It's powerful. Any comment on that before we move on?
First of all, I love the way you said that. Holding space for you. Yes. I just also like spending a lot of quality time with my family that I've created here, and my friends. So that's also a priority for me. So I know people can work, but I do make it a priority to spend a lot of quality time with the people I love. So I'm going to make sure that I do both of those things.
Yes.
I don't want to be lost just in being creative and being alone. It's also time to move on and meet someone, So,
oh my God, I'm so excited about that. I really, really am. I'm so going to be watching out to see what happens for you next, sweetheart. Looking back, oh my God, I can't even believe my time is almost over with you. So I want to ask you a couple of questions to kind of close us out, Aashna. First of all, looking back over your career, What do you wish you knew? You know, I'm going to ask you this question because you've had enough time in the space. What do you wish you knew when you started out that you feel may have benefited your career, that may have gotten you to where you wanted to get to faster, perhaps?
I feel like I shouldn't have listened to so many people in powerful positions, because
Ah,
I feel like there were people who were your well-wishers, your supporters, who really wanted to build you up. But there were
mm-hmm,
also people in power in my career who I felt did not want me to succeed and did their best to crush me.
mm-hmm,
And I feel like
mm-hmm.
if I could go back, the one thing I would say, even to people who are even just starting out in this industry, is like, you know, keep doing what you're doing, keep enjoying what you're doing, keep being creative.
Mm-hmm.
But don't let other people decide the outcome. It was tough
Right.
because in my music career, it was really taking off, but there were some people in there that weren't letting me move forward. And then
Mm-hmm.
it was becoming very difficult. And so I wish that I could have put all that aside and said,
Yeah.
all right, let's drop those people and move on to the next.
Right. But you know, that's the thing. And they always say this, right, sweetheart? It's like, if we knew what we know now, then what would life have been today? And I feel, listening to your story, listening to how, exceptional your experiences have been, even in the lowest times, how you've been able to kind of really stay on track with who you need to be. I feel that the great things, the best is yet to come. It's almost like you were setting stage, like the universe was setting your stage for you to learn all the things that you needed to learn about you, and all the things that you needed to learn about yourself that you didn't want, for you to then be able to do all the great things that are on your bucket list yet to be. I feel that. I really do. I feel that this is where things are really going to start moving for you, because you're very clear. Even though you may not know what's coming down the pike, you'll know what it is when it gets here. Am I right with that
Yes,
assumption?
I do think you're right. Although I pretend I'm 29 every year and then I celebrate my birthday, even have 29 written on my cookie or cake, I do think that, it's not like you grow older, but you do become so much wiser and so much more comfortable. And
Hmm.
there's a point where you're just like, I don't really care.
Hmm.
It's like things happen. I'm like, who cares?
Hmm.
Like I'm there for the big stuff, but I'm
Yes.
not really there for all these tiny things that happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh, I don't care.
But
That just
that
goes
takes
down.
time, Ashna. It takes time to learn what you just said there, because most people get stuck in the small stuff and never get to the big stuff. And the fact that you've gotten that, and you're still incredibly, open to what, the future can hold for you, is a testament that the future is going to hold you. It really is. I believe that. And I have to, ask you a question that I feel is really important for me, and that is, looking back on your career, which has been so expansive, you've done so many things. What stands out for you as a career highlight moment, and why?
I really have to say when I perform live singing. And
Mm,
it's scary to say that because I've been spending so much time on television. But there's such a high with creating your own music and performing in front of a crowd, and that energy that you get back and forth. And you've
mhm.
created something with them and they know the lyrics of your songs. And I don't know, that was probably the most powerful and memorable time, I would say, in my career.
Wow, I love it. Shall I tell you what the most memorable highlight for me is in your career?
What is it?
Hitting the Anoki cover
Oh
with
my
Hal
gosh.
Penn. I loved that we did that with you.
That was so much fun. I have I don't have it right next to me, but I have it. And It was fun working with Cal Penn. And
Yes.
I remember dressing, like we were going to wear all these different clothes and we're like, nah, we'll just put a scarf on her and tape it.
That's
And
exactly
so
what happened. And how fabulous did you look? What a great cover. Honestly, Aashna, I have to tell you, with all the covers that we've done, that stands out as one of my favorite that we actually shot.
oh
It's
my
like,
gosh.
but don't you agree? Like, how fabulous did you look on that cover? You are a gorgeous woman. But you know how sometimes people don't know how to use the camera, or they look more beautiful in real life. You look beautiful in both. And not
Oh,
many people can say that. You look gorgeous on my cover. And honestly, it really is a standout cover for me. I flipping loved what you looked like on it. I really, really did. And I'm so
that makeup
thankful that we
artist,
did that. Huh?
that makeup artist spent a lot of time
Oh,
doing a
come
lot of
on.
things on my face. And I was
Come
like,
on. You were
really, like
easy.
eyebrows for an hour. I'm like, what's happening up there?
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. So as we close off, my darling, I have to ask you this. Anyone that is looking to enter the entertainment business today, based on your experience, what do you feel they need to know? What can you leave people with?
First of all, have fun. If you're not having fun creating, don't do it. Do something that you're really, really passionate about, because when you do that, you do it well, you wake up and you want to do it over and over again. And really, just your journey is your own journey. It shouldn't be about comparing it to someone else.
Mhm.
Um, and your definition of success is your definition of success, whatever
Mhm.
it is. And so if you just keep thinking of it like moment by moment and enjoying these experiences, yes, you should have goals, all that kind of stuff, but enjoy the process. Even the ups and the downs, the downs are good too, because you really do have that moment of silence
Mhm.
and processing and growth that
Yes.
happens in the very lowest points in your life. Because when you're busy, your mind, your body, everything's moving all at once. But when you are relaxed and quiet, you get a lot of different answers.
Mhm.
So I always say, like, go for it. Be around authentic people, be around well wishers. That should be your circle. And don't let anything really get to your head.
Mhm.
Because
Absolutely.
you're
And that's
always,
hard. That's
but
hard, but
I
it's
mean,
choice advice.
yeah, I really feel like an inflated ego to me is just showing me insecurities.
Mhm.
Like once you're calm and comfortable in yourself, you don't really need to keep talking about yourself.
Right.
There's a lot of other things that we can chat about.
Absolutely. Sweetheart, what a pleasure you are. I've learned so much about you, about the woman you are, about the artist you are, about the phenomenal woman you are through this short time that we spent together. I absolutely, genuinely say to you, I look forward to when we get to actually meet. I really, really do.
Me too. I can't wait. We got to make it happen. I might even have to make a trip to Toronto if you're not coming here anytime
Oh
soon.
my God. Then we're going to definitely make that happen. It needs to. I feel that this is the time. Sweetheart, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your incredible journey and your insights, sweetheart. As an OG that I admire today, as I ever did when I first saw you on YTV, when my son was a toddler and he used to watch you. Honestly, I admire you just as much today as I did then. Thank you so much for coming on
Oh,
and reminding the post social media, um, you know, personalities that they are where they are today because there were some people that pioneered things when nothing was really available to them. You are one of them. And I thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
oh, thank you so much, Raj. And thank you so much for your support throughout the years too. That means a lot to me.
Absolutely, sweetheart. I'll always be there because you know me, I did this for, the right reasons. And that was just to make sure that we get to be heard. That's it. That's all I'm here to do in the world of Anoki. So thank you again. And I look forward to the opportunity to chat with you again. And can you also let us know when the hiatus is over and you got something else going on? Let's bring you back on. Let's have another chat. Okay?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Thanks for inspiring all of us.
Thank you. And you too. Folks, I will see you next time on ANOKHI Uncensored. Stay connected with us everywhere at ANOKHI Lifestyle. And don't forget to sign up for our free weekly newsletter at anokhilife.com for exclusive giveaways and to get first access to a lot of the things that we get access to. I also want to share with you guys that I am truly blessed and honored and thankful to each and every one of you who tune into this and who hang out with us on social media and who stay abreast of all the magnificent things that we are doing together as the South Asian community. And I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself.